So I'm David. I'm from Tribe Global. I run an experiential agency in Dubai. Max, thank you very much for today. Tell me a bit about you and Twitch.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. It's been a great day. Max Jacobson, Director of Client Strategy at the Twitch ad sales team here in New York as a part of the Americas group. Twitch, a part of Amazon advertising. I've got my career started here in New York about 10 years ago, working with Fox Sports in a group called Home Team Sports, and kind of moved along in my career there before joining within the Twitch Amazon team about a year and a half. And now I've been working on calling on clients and agencies across the Northeast region of the U.S., working on different advertising and media partnerships across Twitch and other Amazon products.
Nice. Everyone knows Twitch is gaming, right? But it's a lot more than that, right? How are brands coming into the space and activating it with their mindset of, okay, it's more than a gaming platform? How's that coming across?
Yeah, I think, a lot of the conversation that we enter into with brands and advertising agencies is centered around this shift, right, of reaching audiences and thinking about where those audiences are highly engaged in live, new environments. And so Twitch, right, having been birthed really out of this passion for gaming, has recognized that gamers have different passions, right? Whether it's art, sports, music, being able to bring the experience of this interactive, authentic kind of content, immersive content experience that's happening on Twitch, really into these other content genres has been a focal point of what our team has been trying to do to be able to foster new streamers, growth within audiences, and growth with brands, right? And so as a part of that, we've seen partnerships with groups like Live Nation, Refinery 29, Men in Blazers is our most recent example around the World Cup, where we actually had the Men in Blazers group hosting live streams on Twitch and had brands, integrated into that experience throughout, with DoorDash as the presenting sponsor of our most recent Women's World Cup this past summer. But just really exciting new age ways that we know consumers and audiences want to be consuming this content in this more forward-leaning, interactive format than the ways that we've traditionally thought of with linear TV and other formats.
You know what blew my mind in your presentation was the numbers. I mean, there are some seriously impressive numbers, right? Can you just give the audience a bit of in terms of how many hours people are actually spending on the platform?
Yeah, Twitch is long form at its finest. So I think, we have conversations a lot of times with brands who have a difficult time figuring out where to bucket Twitch out of. Is it a video platform? Is it social media? Is it OLV? And so I think to your point about this idea of engagement and this long form experience, I think Twitch naturally fits into that long form, full screen type of video OTT experience. When we think about users coming on average 60 minutes a visit and over 4 hours a day, again, they build these really deep, long-lasting relationships with their favorite streamers. They can't turn it off, right?
Yeah.
And so streamers are coming to Twitch and they're creating this kind of content that lives in this, long-form format, and they're bringing this really kind of tribal community along for that experience with them in a can't-miss kind of environment.
Your competition isn't now just other social platforms. It's TV. It's Hulu.
Exactly. I think
Netflix, right?
Exactly. I think we have, oftentimes, again, because of our audience skewing younger and being really, so focused in that 18 to 34 demo, oftentimes we're bucketed into that conversation around a Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube. But as we think about it, right, and we think about the ways that we're able to engage audiences through this type of video and through this long form content, we're entering into these conversations with brands and agencies where we're talking about shifts from linear and we're talking about shifts from other OTT and CTV partners that they may be thinking about, because we're bringing that same level of long form and engagement that happens there. I think about it, and I worked in the space of live sports. Everything that comes with that experience, the can't miss appointment type television. You don't know what's going to happen next. That's exactly what's happening on Twitch, and it's exactly why people are tuning in, in droves and for these long periods of time, because they're hooked. They want to see what happens next, and it affords us a really kind of cool conversation to have with brands around where we fit.
I think what's really interesting is the partnerships that you've got. I think traditionally where you think a platform like Twitch, NFL, that's a really unique partnership that you have with NFL. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So Amazon partnered with the NFL
Mm.
just 2 years ago. So this is now the second season of having the exclusive rights of Thursday Night Football, which is airing across Prime Video as well as Twitch.
Yeah.
Super exciting because I think the way that we know content is being consumed is changing, right? It's shifting more into this cord cutting environment, this live stream experience. But now when we take it a step further and we think about it in terms of Twitch, people now not only want to watch their favorite teams play in the highly look forward to matchups of Thursday Night Football, but Twitch now gives people the ability of watching that game, but also having a conversation with others who are watching it at the exact same time when you talk about chat and some of the other integrations that Twitch brings to the table. So I think, again, as we think about the shifts in behavior of audiences and even younger audiences rising and kind of aging up with us, making sure that services like Twitch are bringing, what that type of experience that they're after in kind of new and innovative ways.
I think what's really interesting is the fact that, in my household, I've got girls, 10, 14-year-olds, and they're multi-screening constantly. Netflix is on the TV. They might be doing some homework on their laptop, and they're on Snapchat or Instagram going through all the feed. But Twitch seems different. Twitch, for me, feels like you're engaging constantly. You're not looking at other platforms. You're not on anything else. You're really engaged with that conversation. And it's more than just a conversation, right? Because it's, I guess, you talked about cooking channels and, NFL or gaming channels. Consumers seem to be a lot more in it rather than just it's on the background, right?
Yeah, I mean, cooking is the perfect example, right? So I could be going live talking about my favorite breakfast dishes, and then you'd have to suffer and sit through watching me try and cook breakfast. But in that same environment, right, we could have our audience voting on different ingredients that I should be using for that dish, right? And actually being able to influence the content of their favorite streamer, someone that they look up to as truly a top celebrity. And so by having that kind of interactivity along with it, to your point, it creates this really leaned in experience where your phone's upside down and you're just immersed in what's happening. And so as we think about that from a brand perspective, not every impression could be considered equal, right?
Yeah.
So as you think about a video advertisement that might be served to someone who's also scrolling, X on their phone, what is that message really accomplishing? When we talk about Twitch and we talk about the ways that we're infusing brands, we have the data to be able to support and back up what that impact looks like. But also as we have this conversation, anecdotally, we know that there is this higher engagement level that comes with the way that they're consuming the content and ultimately how they react to the brands in there.
And also you've got the overlays from a brand's perspective, right? And how you engage with it. So it's not just that chat function, but you can actually really engage with the product as well.
Exactly. I think one of the really unique parts of how we activate through custom partnerships with our brand partnership studio team internally, which creates marketing and production programs, sponsorships, and streamer-led programs, is the way of kind of infusing exactly that interactive technology that can exist within the stream itself, right? And so now bringing community members together into a really active way, again, to your point, not just having conversation, but ultimately being able to participate in the game or participate in whatever it is that they're consuming, really just creates that deepened engagement and heightened affinity for the brands who are around it.
And you talked about Twitch Shorts. Is that a new product?
Yeah, so Twitch Shorts is a kind of newly rolled out discoverability feature that we're rolling out. And so what Twitch Shorts will do is essentially allow streamers to create kind of snackable short form content that will exist on somewhat of a short form feed. And so essentially the goal of this, obviously Twitch being a long form solution, this isn't necessarily the avenue that I think Twitch sees as our opportunity, but we see it more so as the way to help creators become discovered, grow their audiences, drive tune-in for their programming. Ultimately, just another asset and another way to be able to accommodate, the growth that we know our streamers are looking for, and ultimately helping our audiences at the same time discover new streamers and discover new areas of content, which has been successful.
I think it probably looks at acquisition as well, right? Across multi platforms.
Yeah.
Because someone like, for example, myself, I might be able to go on shorts and kind of see that snackable content rather than long form where I might not have the time for it. So what's new? What's coming up different? What are you guys seeing in terms of the next year for brands coming on board or content creators? What's going to be new?
Yeah, so I think one of the most exciting developments that we're kind of entrenched in right now is really the deepened integration that exists when it comes to Twitch within Amazon. And so we talked about it earlier in our presentation, but as we talk about the different touch points, premium content, right? Thursday Night Football, Prime Video, which will have advertising rolled in, Freevee, of course, but then also device types, Fire TV, Alexa, really talking about how all of these different touch points with the inclusion of Twitch and the incrementality and the live nature of Twitch and the different functionalities that Twitch is bringing into that fold is really just an exciting conversation to be having with brands as we think about it from both an endemic, meaning selling on Amazon, to non, right? And so different ways that we can help accomplish brands' goals, objectives throughout the funnel through this kind of myriad of touch points, with Twitch really being a focal point of where we see our growth within Amazon ads. It's just an exciting thing to be a part of.
No, absolutely. It sounds great. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.